We can see what happened.
He just goes into turn number 3. He's in the throttle. He must have felt the tire going down because you could hear him back off the throttle. The truck turned to the right, went up to the wall and hit the wall. He got out of the throttle enough to keep.
Terry Cook has not.
Whoa.
Oh, trouble in the back straightaway. Hard into the wall. Goes the 60 truck of Travis Quapple. 5, 6, 7 trucks involved. Matt Craftsman sliding sideways.
Lance Norrick in the 90 truck.
Heavy contact by Matt Craftsman on the inside wall. Lance Norrick in the 90 is involved. Off of turn 2.
It's just so narrow there coming off turn 2, Doc, and Joe kind of slid up a little bit. Corey was there. He had not quite cleared him, and they made contact, and it sent Joe into the outside wall. Great job by Steve Portengate to get by Joe Rutten there without making any contact.
And Coy Gibbs just held his line. He was in line. I guess Joe maybe thought he had him cleared. And if you're in Daytona, here's what happened a moment ago over in turn 3.
The 81 truck of Jonathan Price just ran in the back of Billy. Billy backed off there to try to get off that corner. Ran in the back of him. There's Randy McDonald caught up in it with nowhere to go. Tough break for all 3 of these guys.
Randy McDonald had a top 15 run in Daytona. Bill Lester would have had a top 5 or 6 finish. Done 6 just a couple of laps ago. And there's a shot. Great camera work, guys. Getting McGlynn up high. Comes down across the racetrack.
No contact with anything, but right now he had a lot of laps in his tires. So
and then this happens going into the turn.
That's Steve right there. That was his spin. He's going to hit the inside wall right there a little bit. There's some damage. You see the hood bow up.
And here's the next wreck here entering the turn. McDonald involved. Trent Owens involved. The 51 of Michael Dawkins spinning.
Looked like Michael Dawkins spun, and that Trent Owens and Randy McDonald were just really trying to avoid him and got together and also spun.
There's our leader, Ted Musgrave, right there. Here he is. He's already sideways right here. He makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall, but you can see he was all by himself, so just got a little bit loose coming off of turn 4 there. But look at the smoke, and these guys cannot see anything, but very, very luckily, they stay to the outside. Jason stays to the inside. Trying to make a move on Carlos Contreras. Yeah, contact right there. It's a little early to make a 3 wide. Morgan jumped on the inside. Darrell was already on the inside of Carlos Contreras. They ran out of room, made contact, and around Darrell went, but fortunately no contact with the inside wall. 3 wide again, Doc. Watch out, Kenny.
And Schrader gets sideways, and he gets tagged by the 8 of Bill Lester is involved. And that will bring out caution for the 3rd time today.
Musgrave right there. Oh, the 55 truck spun out. Ted Musgrave. Oh, just got clipped by the 55 and around he went. Backed into the wall a little bit.
Just to bring out caution number 6.
Just got in the corner a little bit too hard and lost the back end of the truck. Around it went. No contact from anybody.
Caution number 8.
See Brendan Gaughan on the inside. He gets sideways. Nothing Brian Rose could do. He was on the outside. Gave Brendan Gaughan plenty of room. Brendan got sideways on the inside and made contact with Brian Rose, and around Brian went and going down in turn number 1 right now. Andy got a little bit sideways. Oh, there's his contact with his buddy Ken Schrader. Ken used to backcraft and has to race with him to get by. Oh, Corey Gibbs around he goes.
Round he goes, spinning around, and caution will come out again. See what happened to Bill here a moment ago.
Looked like pretty hard contact with the outside wall. Looked like he came off the corner. Gonna watch for David Starr there. There's David. He looks like he might have got tapped by Robert Presley as they were trying to get back to the caution flag.
Some contact there. Looked like Larry Gunzelman, the 63 truck, slowed, and Stan Boyd ran right into the back of him. Not a great deal of damage, it doesn't look like, to either truck. Both of them got back going, but I think neither one were successful in trying to remain on the lead lap.
The inside of Morgan Shepherd, you saw his left side wheels get below the yellow line on the apron. That got the truck wiggling, and he lost control of it.
Turn 2.
You see Lance right there. That's the truck sideways. Got a little bit sideways coming off turn 2. Came down the racetrack right in front of Brian Rose. Nowhere for Brian to go. Tough break for both these guys. Both in the top 10 in points. And you not being here. Here's another angle of it here. There he is coming off turn number 2, making contact with the outside wall. Kevin Buskirk, his crew chief, is not here today, but he was here yesterday. His dad's having some surgery today, so we want to wish him the best.
And although they have a very small, very few number in crew,
front of Corey Gibbs. And let's watch and see. You can see he turned hard right. The right front tire's down. You can see the balance is right on the racetrack. Hard contact. You see the wall. The wall is made of boilerplate. Or a close call for, I think, Dennis Setzer. They're trying to get by. Made a little bit of contact, but Dennis was able to keep it straight. But we talked about earlier when it.
How about Tom Carey down on the bottom of the racetrack there? Whoa! Contact Carey and Quapple, and Travis Quapple tries to save it, and he gets tagged on the inside of the track.
Looked like maybe Randy McDonald in the 72 truck.
And we will have caution for the 5th time here on lap 151. That is.
See him coming off turn number 2 right in there. Got sideways. He's going to make contact with the inside wall, which is probably going to either knock an oil line loose or knock the fuel pump off the truck, and that's what probably led to the fire. Right here, going down in the turn number 1, he gets sideways before they even get to the corner. Slides down across the apron of the racetrack. Roof flap came up, slid across, made some fairly minor contact with the outside wall for considered as fast as he was running.
That may have been some contact there. Let's see. We can see what happened to Terry a moment ago.
These are the latest. Rick Crawford's taken over the 2nd position. Looks like she tried to turn left to stay off of Rick Crawford. That's what caused her to spin. She had to jerk the truck left to stay off Rick Crawford to give him plenty of room. And that's what caused her to spin around. And that's the blue and white truck in the middle. He's going to try to duck underneath Brian Rose, but when Jamie Cottle was already there, they made contacts, turned him around, and made some pretty hard contact with the inside wall. And you see there's the contact right there with the inside wall.
Heavy hit into the concrete. Going to go entering turn 4.
White truck on the inside. She slid off the bottom of the racetrack, made some contact with Ted Musgrave in the white and black truck. Spun around. Robert Preston did a great job getting by on the inside of her, and that's what caused this caution flag.
Matt Craftsman, that's 4th position, and bumping back. There's Wood, and he spins as there was some contact a moment ago, and now Wood goes around and spins, and will bring out caution number 8 on the day.
A lap, Tom Carey going down in the corner. See, looks like they made a little contact, got a little bit sideways, and unfortunately, in the corner, that's the worst part of the racetrack to get sideways because you'd be at your maximum speed. And Jason made some pretty hard contact with the outside wall. Caution flag. Let's take a look at Brian Rose. Looks like maybe something happened to the engine because, yeah, there's oil all over the racetrack. Hard lick into the wall. He blew an engine right at the wrong time, going in the corner at maximum speed. And we're
trying to hang on for track. Speaking of Corey Gibbs, here is the 39 of Portengay who's involved in an incident. He gets tapped and spun around. Portengay had a great run at Michigan, finishing.
David starting inside. David makes some contact with Andy, and then just tries to save the truck, and it gets around and hits the inside wall extremely hard. We saw oil all over his windshield, so he's obviously busted an oil line or something like that, or an oil cooler, so that's going to be a big-time problem for David Starr. Ted Musgrave, the one truck, he's on the back bumper of Bill Lester. Looks like there's probably a little bit of contact right there. Ted was trying to get by on the inside. Bill gets sideways, fights and almost saves the truck. You saw Corey Gibbs go by on the inside. There's Matt Craft and Mike Bliss. Looks like that was the contact between Mike Bliss and Bill Lester. That's where that damage came from, Mike. This is the battle right behind Andy. You see Andy just gets a little bit sideways going in turn number 3, it looked like. Didn't see any contact with Travis Quapple. It may have been contact earlier. Andy does a little 360, keeps on going. He's going to be able to make his pit stop now. See the black truck, that's the 77. He bounces off the wall right in front of Andy Petrie. Andy can't quite get stopped in time, tries to avoid him. Does not make some contact with him and pushes him in the outside wall again. But the 77 truck hit the outside wall coming off turn 4, and Andy Petrie had nowhere to go right behind him.
Well, Jody had already had some contact prior to that contact with Andy. Being waved to the 29 truck of Terry Cook. Trouble all around. This one truck spins, Setzer splits, and Bliss is spun. The point leader Crawford is involved.
Ted Musgrave, Andy Petrie.
But the white flag had already waved to the leader. And truck here, left side of your screen.
John Wood on the inside, and the 50 truck makes some contact with Bill Lester. Bill came down the racetrack, made some contact with John Wood, and hard into the wall. That's the worst spot you can have trouble, is going in the corner. That's obviously when you're
junction game.
Something obviously broke on the truck. He was coming off the corner there and made hard contact with the outside wall. Don't know if the right front tire went down or some suspension broke or whatever. See Brian Sopwell right there, the 54 truck right in the middle of the screen. He just got a little bit sideways coming off the corner, jumped in the throttle, spun the wheels, and around he went. Did a great job of turning that truck to stay out of the inside wall.
He did an awesome job. And what happened to bring out the caution flag? There's the Bailey excavating machine for Ross going around, and in that smoke somewhere comes John Wood, and he gets popped from the back and also runs into the back of Brian Ross. Kevin, let's see if we can see what happened here just a moment ago.
Watch the 60 truck of Travis Popple. They made a little contact right there as we talked, going in the corner.
He got poppled just a little bit right there, I'd say.
Dennis almost saved it. He jammed the throttle to keep it out of the outside wall, but the thing spun around on him and
number 102.
got a little sideways on he's on the outside of Terry Cook. Got a little sideways, getting in the corner, then got up in the loose stuff, and then just got away from him.
Tell you what happened a moment ago to Hurricane Clark. That's his nickname, up in turn 4. Just went around on him.
Well, he's on the outside of Brian Sockwell. Looked like Brian got in the corner.
Here on the white flag lap down in turns 1 and 2.
There's David. He tried to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. Wow, hard contact with Bobby Hamilton on the outside. He tried to get down in between those two trucks. Wasn't able to make it. Got contact with Bobby Hamilton that sent him spinning, sent Bobby Hamilton straight into the outside wall, and here all these trucks had nowhere to go. Tremendous amount of damage to a lot of these trucks.
Tough break for a lot of the guys in the pole.
Contact with the 60 Regan Smith. Made a little contact coming off the turn, and that's what happens at South Boston. This racetrack is so narrow on the back just to create enough room for all the trucks to pit.
56.
See Jamie, the 84 truck, turned around there. Do you see the contact with Carlos Contreras? Not sure exactly what turned Jamie around to start this thing. Then Conrad Burr came along in the 28 truck and made some pretty hard.
In Milwaukee, I ran a truck.
63 truck right there. Oh, that's what I knew. There was contact way back in the middle of the straightaway. Regan got into the inside wall there. Let's see what happened here. You see Robert on the inside of the racetrack. Looks like he just got a little bit loose. I don't think there was a tap there from the 75 truck at David Starr. Just got a little bit loose, got turned around. Unfortunately, before he could get back going, the leaders got by, so he's now being shown 11th. Let's take a look what happens. Here you see the 4 truck of Ryan Hemphill, the 50 truck's trying to avoid Ryan Hemphill, and there's Jason Leffler probably trying to avoid the 4. So not sure exactly what caused that, but it caused both Jason Leffler and John Wood to lose a lap.
There's the 50 truck, top of your screen.
Got a little wide, got up in the loose stuff, made a pretty hard contact with the outside wall.